This video is going to help you get started with the Elements of Design mini book project. This is the layout that we have. It's 28 by 16 inch document. The first thing we want to do is use guides to set up our 4-inch by 4-inch squares, which will end up being the pages for the document. So the first thing we want to do is turn on rulers. If you don't have rulers turned on, you will find them under the View menu, and make sure rulers is checked. If it looks like this, you just go to View, Show Rulers, and then it turns the rulers on. This makes it easy to add guides. From each one of these rulers, you can click and drag out a guide, and you'll notice it'll snap to the inch markers on here. So we want to put one of these at every 4 inches throughout the document, both horizontally and vertically. This will make your life a lot easier when you add the dotted lines to make the pages. So continue to add these. Again, every 4 inches. What you should end up with is a grid of blue guides that looks something like this. Now, to make these permanent for our printing, we want to add dotted lines. So for that, we're going to use the line tool, which is buried underneath these other shape tools. Now with the line tool, you want to make sure your fill is set to empty, which is the red line here, and then the stroke is black. And then here is where you change it from a solid line to a dotted line. So I would use this one, it will look the best, the second choice there. So change to a dotted line. Now when you add a line, you click and drag, and you should notice that it snaps to the guides that you have already made. So it makes it very easy to add very clean lines to your document. So go ahead and go through, adding dotted lines to each one. Now once we have these, we can go ahead and hide the guides by going to View, Show, and turning off guides. That will hide them, and you'll see what we're left with are dotted lines. Now as you can see, there's a bit of a bug in the program where here it's not showing all the lines as dotted. So that might also happen on your computer. Just understand that when we print this, they will be dotted lines. Next thing you want to do is take all these lines and put them together in a layer group. So I'm going to click this button down here to create a new group. Rename it Lines, and I can shift click to highlight all of these and move them into that folder. So now inside that layer group, I have all my dotted lines. Now the way this is going to work is you're going to have 2 title pages. The very first box is going to be the title for Elements of Design, and I'm going to make this small enough so we can see it, or so that it'll fit rather. So this is Elements of Design. And I'm not going to take the time to design it right now. I just want to make sure that you guys know what you're doing. And the next other side is Principles of Design. Now those will be your 2 title pages. Now from that, each of these, when in the directions, when I call a spread is 2 pages put together that when you open a book, you will be seeing those 2 pages next to each other. So this title page is by itself, and the next 2 is the spread number 1. The next 2 is spread number 2, spread number 3. So for each spread, one side is going to be the visual element, the other side is going to be the visual example, and the other side is going to be the text example, right? So on one side will be something here that's a shape, and then you'll describe to us what is a shape. And then on the other side, you will give us an example of a shape, and you'll design it much nicer than I'm doing, of course, and you make it colorful and whatever you need to do. But just so you know, when we talk about spreads, we're talking about 2 pairings of pages throughout. So you're going to have a total of 12 pages in each book, and that will make 6 spreads to design, okay? And each of these spreads are connected together, all right? And that should be enough to get you started on this project.